G'day guys, welcome to Lucy's channel, Lucy Lane, the Queen of Balmain. This morning we are going to answer your questions. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to answer all of these questions from my own personal experience or what little knowledge I do have, I'll try to pass on to you guys. But just remember, I am not a professional dog trainer. So if you're looking for professional dog training advice, it's probably not going to be here. But if you're looking at trying to find someone that has some relatability to you, you're a normal person like I am, and you're bringing up a German Shepherd, well, I've got a few tips and tricks that might be of use. So anyway, let's get into it. Alrighty, question number one. Now bear with me, I'm just going to read these questions out. I'm also going to have them pop up at the bottom of the screen here. Question number one. How did you get Lucy's energy out when she was a pup without her vaccinations? This is week 2 of having my little Mishka GSD pup, and she has a lot of energy, especially when I have to work and my sister is looking after her. She can be a huge handful. Do you have any tips on giving her satisfying exercise early in the day before I leave? Well, just so happens I do. Okay, so the first tip I'm going to give you is some training in the morning, a little bit of stimulus. Start doing some basic commands around the house, getting them to come, to sit, stay, whatever it is. Learn all the basic obedience and just do it in the house. That's what we did with Lucy. My wife and I would hide in different parts of the house and get her to come and stuff. And yeah, they're full of energy at this age, but don't forget they are so tiny and small, they tire super quickly as well. So you can do that. Step number 1, a little bit of obedience training, doesn't take much. Step number 2 is, once you've done a little bit of training, you can always just play with them. Get a little tug rope, play, rough them around a little bit, get them, let them win, let them build that confidence. And literally you only need to do it like 15, 20 minutes, man, and they will be pooped, especially when they're like a 10-week-old puppy. And my third tip, what I also did with Lucy, back when she couldn't leave the house, was we had these Kongs. Kongs are fantastic, and we still use Kongs to this day. They're obviously, when she was a puppy, they were a lot smaller, and what we do is just stick frozen foods in there, like we'd throw some kibbles in and a little bit of raw meat, a little bit of whatever it is, like banana or yogurt or something, and would freeze them and then would give them to her. And those would last for hours. She wouldn't even make it through before she passed out, and then I'd look down on the floor and there'd be a pile of goop with the leaking Kong, and Lucy is just sprawled out, just napping. So that's a few little tips to to keep it going. Also, alternatively, if you're able to come home maybe and do another little session with your pup, that could be an option. But look, if you just do it before you go and then when you get home and put that little bit of time in, I think that's going to be more than suffice, especially in the early days, because pups are super like energetic, but man, they die off very quickly as well. Like, didn't take long to knock Lucy out with a little bit of stimulus. Alrighty, question number 2. Hi guys, my partner and I were curious, when you first took Lucy for walks, what length of time were you walking her for? As she got older, how much did you increase the time of her walks? Obviously in relation to the puppy's age, because we are getting our puppy soon. Well, for starters, that's super exciting. All right, so we followed at the start 5 minutes per 1 month of age rule. Now I got this off at like a generic German Shepherd forum. I think it's pretty common with most pups. So that's what we did. It's very easy, and it's like just an approximate. So don't get too wound up. Oh my God, we got 15 seconds to get home before our time's up. Like, don't worry about it. So if say your pup's 3 months of age, take it for a 15-minute walk twice a day. So it's 4 twice a day. So morning and evening, and just work off that. It's pretty easy. No need to overcomplicate it. Question number 3. How much should a dog be rewarded for training, and for how long? So that's kind of like how long's a piece of string. But obviously rewards are great to lure dogs in positions for like basic training and stuff like that. And just to let them know they're doing a good job, reinforce their good behavior, makes a whole bunch of sense. I think change it up, because give them maybe bigger rewards sometimes, and then give them smaller rewards sometimes. That's what I personally did with Lucy. And then sometimes give them no rewards, just give them lots of praise, because you kind of don't want your dog to be reliant on rewards and will only work if you've got like food in your hand or something, or they're only going to come to you if you've only got treats on you, because there will be a time when you don't have those treats. So I think change it up and keep them guessing. That's the name of the game. Next question. We're a couple considering a GSD puppy for a first dog. Thoughts on getting a dog that suits your lifestyle versus changing your lifestyle to suit the dog? How have you had to change your lifestyle just before getting Lucy, and how has it changed now that you have her? Cheers from Perth. That is a fantastic question. I'm gonna kind of break down the answer into 3 sections. Straight up, it's super important to get a dog that suits your lifestyle. Obviously there's gonna be a few tweaks and changes in there somewhere, but if you're an active person and you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to do the training, take your dog on walks and adventures and socialize them, by all means, get a German Shepherd. Or another high caliber dog, maybe like a border collie or something that's got a lot of drive and it's going to need some work. That would be sweet. But if you're like a really kind of indoorsy person, you don't really like to go out and do things, and you don't like to go on walks, and you don't like to, adventure, or you don't want to leave the house, getting a German Shepherd is probably the worst idea in the world, and it's not going to work out. So, for example, my wife and I, we're like, don't get me wrong, we love our home time, we love to relax at home and things like that, and Lucy does too. She's pretty chilled out right now. We're gonna go walkies? Yeah, we're gonna go walkies very shortly, but on the flip side, we also love getting out all the time. We go on adventures, we go on hikes, we go to the beach. We take Lucy with us. We're big advocates for not leaving your dog at home in the backyard. Even if you're an active person, like take them with you, include them, socialize them in the big bad world that we have out there. Like go and enjoy it with your dog. So like that really, like my wife and I were like this before we got Lucy, so it was very easy to integrate her in. Now, you do have to make a few tweaks. Like, hey, you've got this new living, breathing, hairy child. It's like, I don't know, I haven't had kids, but it's what I'm assuming is like having a kid at the start. So there are a few, you have to adjust a few things, but it's for the good. So with changing things in our lifestyle, as I said, there's a few minor tweaks, like, I don't know, de-pooping the backyard. Never had to do that before. That's what I do now. That's all good. But there weren't any major changes, to be completely honest. You just have to think ahead a little bit more, but apart from that, that's all good. Say if you're gonna go somewhere where your dog can't go and it's for longer than a day, you're gonna have to organize like accommodations and things like that. But for the most part, Lucy comes with us everywhere, so we don't have to worry about that. So things that, like some really awesome things that have changed since having Lucy, and for the good, is we've met a lot of amazing people and dogs through like German Shepherd meets and things and doggy meetups and stuff, and nothing official, like we do it all on Instagram or whatever. And just getting to meet all these different people from all different walks of life, like probably people you would never have really made friends with, but you've all got this one thing in common, which is German Shepherds, and we all kind of meet up kind of nearly every weekend, to be honest, like every weekend, every second weekend, and we literally do lots of fun meetups. And obviously some of the videos are on this channel, a lot of videos are on this channel actually, and we all just hang out and let the dogs play and take photos. And what's amazing with that is there's a lot of, like, multiple brains are better than one. Everyone's got pieces of information to give and knowledge and ways of doing things, and like everyone's got something to give, which is really awesome. Alrighty, next question is, what places is Lucy not allowed to go? I want to be able to take my dog with me everywhere, but I can't seem to find information in my research where dogs aren't allowed. Now, this, for starters, is going to come down to where you live in the world. Excuse me. So Lucy is not allowed to go where other dogs aren't allowed to go. She's just a normal dog. So she has the same rules and boundaries as all normal like pets. We're lucky in Australia though, or in Sydney right now, there's a massive movement for dogs to be allowed to go on like public transports and like hotels and restaurants. So this allows us to get out and about with Lucy. Like we get out and about with Lucy regardless. But now we can do more things than just go to hikes and beaches and stuff. Now we can take her to restaurants and on the ferries and into the city and these cool things. And I think it's amazing because you can get your dog used to these environments, get them comfortable. It's like a one giant training session, and it really tires them out because it's just a completely new environment. But yeah, as I said, Lucy's not an emotional support dog, a therapy dog, or a service dog. So maybe one day I think it would be cool to kind of go down the route of looking at doing something like this with Lucy, because she's a switched on dog, very adaptable to any situation. I think my advice to you to be able to take your dog out and about like that, obviously depending on where you live, but if you can, make sure your dog, okay, number one, obedience. Make sure you're completely efficient in obedience, like come, stay, sit, and there should no boundaries and things like that, just because, I don't know, things could happen. Your lead could fail, your collar could break or something, and you want to be, your voice, your voice has to be that connection that will bring your dog back ASAP, no matter what's going on around them, because it's a very busy environment if you want to be taking your dog out in the city and things. The next thing's toilet training. This is more like obviously city orientated, but like obviously your dog's trained to go outside of the house, but I think to go one better and make sure your dog's trained to only go on grass or like a garden or something. So that's what we've done with Lucy, just so we're not walking along through like a busy street in Sydney City and she decides to take a big dump on the footpath where there's like lots of people, or you know what I mean? So just have all that sort of basic stuff squared away, and then you'll have a very easy time with taking your dog out and about with you. And if you want to take it next step further and make sure, like, so they can go into shopping centers, like literally go everywhere, become an emotional support animal, or therapy dogs I think have limited kind of boundaries. I know not as much as emotional support, or a service dog. And then a service dog, I'm pretty sure can go anywhere providing their service. So that's maybe some stuff that you want to look into. Next question, should a first time dog owner get a German Shepherd? So I've done a video on this, link is up here, go check it out. The answer is yes and no. Confusing as hell, watch that video. Depends what type of person you are. Next question, do you think a German Shepherd would be okay living with a little toy poodle mix? The answer is, again, yes and no. That's kind of how long is a piece of string. If you were to get a new puppy and socialize that German Shepherd puppy with the little poodle, it'll be absolutely fine. If you were to get a rehomed German Shepherd that had no problems of small dogs and was very socialized, you wouldn't have a problem there either. But you may get a rescue or something that's super reactive to other dogs. That's going to be a nightmare. So honestly, it's going to be a case by case situation. So if you were going to get a German Shepherd puppy, you would be pretty sweet because you can bring it up the way you want to bring it up. But if you were going to get a rescue, you would have to probably dive really deep into the ins and outs of the dog, and was it socialized? Is it dog aggressive? Like, why is it in a rescue center to start with? You'd be asking yourself those questions because you don't want to cause chaos at home and stress out both dogs and potentially have a really bad situation in your hand. So that's kind of the answer to that. It's going to be case dependent. Another great question here. Do you think German Shepherds can live in an apartment? The answer is, again, yes and no. I have a video on here. So we actually live in a really tiny house. It's not an apartment, but we live like pretty inner city in Sydney, and most modern apartments are bigger than our house. So I've actually done a video that kind of answers this, but I'll give you a quick soldier's vibe here. It is kind of yes and no. So if you're very active people and you love to take your dog out and they're going to get the exercise, I think, yeah, that's not a drama at all. But if you're a couch potato and not going to take your dog out and your dog's going to be cooped up at home all day, absolutely not. For instance, Lucy here, we're going to go out for a good hour and a half, 2 hour walk shortly, and then she's going to sleep the rest of the day inside. She's an inside dog. She lives inside. But she gets, so much training and exercise outside, it's crazy. But we are outside, outdoorsy, active people, so it works really well. Next question, should I get a male or female German Shepherd? And if I get two, should both be female or both male? Or does it even matter? So great question. Check out this video I've got linked up here. Try to get a male or female German Shepherd. Should be able to answer some of that for you. I would recommend not getting two at once. It'd just be a shitload of work. A disaster. Personally, I think it'd be a disaster if you're an inexperienced owner. Just by that question, you may not have a whole lot of experience with German Shepherds. So just probably stick to one would be a lot easier. Having two German Shepherds is very doable, definitely. I know a lot of people, I've got friends that do it. I've got a friend that actually has two German Shepherds and a Belgian Malinois, so that is pretty crazy, but he's a ex-military dog trainer, so kudos to him. He can do it. But I think both at the same time would be a disaster, as I said. I think a male and female work better, but again, that can be left to interpretation because you may have, a male and a less dominant male. You might have a dominant male and a submissive male work really well, and same with females. You'll have a dominant female and a submissive female, that'll work well together. But essentially, if both dogs are dominant, that could be a bit hairy. Again, I'm not an expert in this field. I've only got one German Shepherd, but this is just through, me thinking about it logically. But look, probably just get one to start with, and whether you want to get a male or female, that's up to you. I like females more, my preference. It just kind of suited us a bit more. But Lucy's quite a dominant, and she's an alpha female, so she actually has it over a lot of guys. So just by getting a female, don't think you're getting a submissive dog by any means. And again, don't think just by getting a male you're going to have like an alpha canine, man-eating thing. That's not the case either. It all comes down to their breeding, their temperament, their drive, their parents, genetics, all that sort of good stuff. So anyway, get one. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna leave it there. I haven't answered all the questions. We've got a lot more than I actually thought we would get. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a second video answering the second lot of these questions, and then I'm actually gonna do a third video on questions that I can actually do an entire video about. But I will answer every question on this list that is there. So just keep eyes and ears open in the next day and week, and we're gonna pump the next stages of this video out. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments, drop them below. Any more questions, drop them below. I'll try to answer them as we go. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not. Give Lucy a high five, pop. Good job. And we'll see you in the next video. Gonna go bookies? You got bookies? Yeah, we got bookies.